can't figure out my feelings toward you. I don't even want to shake your hand, and yet I almost wish you luck.
Okay, this was written, just came up with the main riff there that turned into the chorus, and I was going to make that the verse at first. He heard that, and he's like, no, you can't do that, that's the perfect chorus, it has to be the perfect chorus, like, that has to stay as the chorus. I was like, okay, and what I was actually using as the chorus before became the bridge, and he was like, well, you just need a verse now, so the verse on the song was written, and probably, it was the first thing that I spat out, like the first thing I played. We're just like, good enough, and it might have been the last song written now that I think about it, and yeah,
it was
it was the last one, and
we released the video for that months ago, so it shows you how long it takes to mix and master this goddamn thing.
We released the video like 4 months before the album was even close to being done, so yeah, it came together really quick. The vocals on it came together quick. It wasn't like, I mean, it was like literally this melody works, so we're just gonna do this. Please help me. The chorus came out of the vocals just by playing it at band practice. He just started singing the chorus part of the "Find My Way Back Home" part, and that's what we stuck with. So the song came together really quick. It was recorded really quick. Every instrument, obviously, like we always record quick, and then Johnny was like first thing he played, worked on it. So one of the quickest songs written on the album. So
actually, by far, we just got funny.
It was the one that came together quickest. So. All right.
Okay. We are now on to "She Moves," which is another Kyle track, and I just remember this song. I don't want to talk over his track, but he would just play that riff all the time, and I would just hear him do, "She moves," and I heard that for probably like a year or something. That you had that part for a long time, and I was like, "Oh, that's going to be a great song," and it wound up being a great song. It's one of my favorites on the CD and everything. So, okay, go ahead.
No, you're fine. By all means, keeps me from having to talk. That song, probably looking at it more than any other that I wrote on the album, went through more changes. The "She Moves" part, the chorus was always there, and the bridge was, I think it might have been written a little later, but, or not, can't remember. It was always pretty much there. The verse itself, the riff in it, I was being really pompous and wanted it to be complicated. So what was there, it was similar to what's there now, but it was like way more, like never had anything you could hook onto. It was kind of shitty. And went into the studio and recorded it and couldn't play it the same way twice. It was just like so convoluted. So I dropped it and made it really simple. And that's what you got now. And the melody of the vocals came a little bit later because I had the music down for a while and I just was like, how do I want to sing the verse? And I think you came up with a way to sing that, and I wasn't going to sing it originally because I didn't think I had the right voice for it, and I still don't, but went in, nailed it out, and came together pretty quick, so I enjoy playing it. I always view it as an acoustic song, though. It sounds really good.
It works great acoustically.
Yeah, because I think I wrote it on acoustic, which I never do, but this one was actually written acoustic. I still mostly play it acoustically.
And when we play it live, we always play it slower than the album, as though we were playing it acoustically.
It's probably the most mellow song, one of them on the album. Yeah, so it's always an acoustic little ditty to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it was a good tune, and that's like one thing that me and Kyle, if we ever have disagreements about, it'll be the complex nature of a song. Because Kyle likes to go complex sometimes, and I'm always like, keep it real simple.
There was a very lengthy period in the beginning of writing for the album where I was like, how can I top in VR? How can we top in VR? And I thought, oh, just be more complicated and sound like other people. And that sounded like shit. Don't ever do that. And then I completely dumbed it down and made it stupid. And it came out like Sludge Train, which I was happy with. So, you know, there's that.
It's when my advice to him was, don't try to write like you're writing for some other band, writing one of those complex. I said, write like you're writing like Kyle writes. And if you write like Kyle writes, you're going to write a great song.
And She Moves was the first one written after that.
And that was it. And I fucking heard that song. I said, that's brilliant. Brilliant! We had so many songs that were coming at you kind of like big and heavy and hard, or whatever you want to call it. But one of the things I wanted to do was have a song that built. If you listen to the beginning of that, it's just this weird guitar track that just, you know, ushers you in where you're like walking into a haunted house or something. It's like this big growling, groaning thing, single note guitar lick that goes on for a while. That's at a completely slower speed than the rest of the song. And all of a sudden it starts kicking in with the drums, and you hear it. If you know the song, it's probably playing in the background right now because I'm going to filter all this shit in. And then all of a sudden it grows. I wanted to be a song that sounded like somebody growing to anger in front of you that was going to beat the shit out of you in the most brutal fucking way. And also, it was about wanting a big chorus, a big shouty. That was the thing that we wanted on this album, probably more than anything, was big choruses that you could sing to. Where you would say, you know, how would the people, would they react? I want something they're going to cheer to, sing to, or sing along to. So we wanted a guy song that was like, you know, you won't break me.
Well, speaking of big shouty choruses, those weren't the original words, kids. You Won't Break Me was not the original.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. The original words were, fuck you, fuck me, won't you just let it be, or some shit like that.
That's actually true. I forgot about that. We recorded it that way.
It's out there. It's
oh
it's
my
in the
God,
computer.
yeah.
And we started to, like, there's a version of the song with that, and it was debated a lot because it was like, it sounds good, but is it too much, and was it almost comedic? And the problem was, I was like, it's good, but every time I hit that chorus, I break out fucking laughing. And then he was like, just, okay, hold on. He came back, he's like, let's just record it this way. And,
yeah. We made it more so that people could sing it in a car, compared to them hearing it and going, what the fuck are these guys doing? Break Me was about, and it was a song about a girlfriend who I'm married to now for 26 years. And we broke up for a while. I seen her one day, and she was walking by into her sister's house, dressed by far more radically than she'd ever dressed. You know, high boots and the tight jeans and everything like that. And I said, oh, she's doing that just to break my heart. And she told me later she was.
I think it was one of the first ones written. I remember hearing it and being like, okay, this is the new direction of the album, because it was so much more, it was very heavy to play. It was very quick compared to anything on the first album. And I remember just being faster, and the intro was just like different. So I was like, oh, we're going for a more menacing, fast, brutal sound.
I Know You're Looking was a song that was written. I didn't want, as much as I wanted the whole album to be heavy and Kyle wanted it to be heavy, we actually started out almost like in a festival of heaviness when you hear songs like, you know, Thank You and all those later on. Those were early songs. We were just like, we're going to fucking... But then came parts where it was like, okay, this is going to be ridiculous. So try to put something in there that was a little bit more mellowed, where it wasn't all up here. It was, you know, it would sail and wave in front of you. And that's what I Know You're Looking turned into. It was just a song that we wrote, or I wrote, pardon me. And I wanted to just be telling a story, because I'm a storyteller type writer. I'm not an emotion writer. I'm not that kind of thing. It's more like, you know, it's always a story. It had a good ebb and flow. The thing I'm probably most proud about that song is the guitar solo. I just love the way it breaks in.
No, the way it comes in off the bridge is one of my highlights of the album for me.
I wanted something that had a big funky bass line to it. And if you listen underneath all the other bullshit of I Know You're Looking, it's really got this kind of a funk bass line to it that you can just keep going, and boom boom dum dum, that kind of a thing. And I wanted to have that kind of a funk line to it, and it's even sung in that kind of a way by and large. And we play it live. We actually turn it, when we play it live, we forget the third verse, we do like a jam out session. We introduce the band during it. This cool little 3 or 4 minute song turns into like a 10-minute thing.
I'm gonna record this, and I remember specifically, not it because it's totally different. But I remember I listened to it. I was like, "Those are all the same fucking chords, and please help me, goddammit!" And they were every fucking chord in the song.
They were just played a little bit differently, a little out of order. But if you took the 5 chords that make up "Please Help Me," it's the 5 chords that make up "I Know You're Looking."
It's like that motherfucker stole my song.
Okay, we're now moving on to "Liar," which is one of my favorite songs. Everybody seems to like that song. It was the song that we didn't think anybody would overly go for because it was so brutal in the chorus. But
well, "Liar" got written. I had it floating around for a bit, and it was pretty much always the way it was. Slight variations, nothing crazy. Yeah, I didn't think much of it. It was basically one riff the whole song. Tried forever to write a different fucking riff to fit in that song, and there was something about the one that was there that it just didn't. You couldn't break it and have it sound right unless you like stopped the song and like kind of leave it. It just fucking was weird. So after much debate, it became just one riff song.
What happened? If I could jump in, was that Kyle was desperately trying to come up with another hook.
Like hours spent working.
Yeah, and there was even times I would like think, man, maybe there's something I could show him, and maybe he would use in one of his songs, even though we never really do that, and just couldn't come up with it. And I heard it, and I remember saying, "What the fuck are we thinking? We can play that one riff for 4.5, 5 minutes. Don't worry about it." And he was like, "There's no way we can stick with one riff through the whole song." I said, "No, we'll just make it heavy and light, heavy and light, heavy and light, and it's gonna sound amazing." He's like, "I don't think it's gonna work," and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna work." And now, that's what everybody likes about it. It's just one freight train riff that keeps coming.
I think it's because there's so much variation in the vocals. Because at first we weren't sure how to sing it, and then I gave you words, and it was sung. You sung it very poppy, and I was cool with that. I was like, "Ah, it works." And but you couldn't do that through the chorus. It just wasn't going to work if you had it the whole song. So it would just been a droning thing. So I said, "Let me bark it," and you were like, "Don't do that. It's not gonna sound right." And I was like, "Let me bark it," and I did that. And the second line, we were like, "How are we gonna do that?" And I remember there was a big debate. Like I was like, "Well, I wrote the line." You're like, "You can't sing that. It doesn't fit." I'm like, "It fits." You're like, "It doesn't fucking fit." And you were like, I said, "Let me record it." You said, "It ain't gonna fucking fit. Record." And you're like, "Oh, that fits. Okay." And then it was done. That was the end of the fucking song right there.
And you want to hear the pitch of the song? This is the way my vocals really worked out. I'm very big into like I grew up in the 70s. You know, I'm obviously a lot older, so I was listening to my mother's record collections, and everything was Motown. I grew up on Motown until I was in my teens. You know, Isaac Hayes and Marvin Gaye and all that kind of stuff. And when we hit my part to sing the lyrics, he gave me all these lyrics to sing, and I'm like, oh. And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, "Do you remember November, baby?" And I went all Motown on it. He came home, because I never record my vocals when he's around. Never, ever, ever. So he came back, and I'm like, "Oh, dude, I got the verses done." And he listened to it, and the first words out of his mouth, I swear to God, he goes, "Did you have to go all fucking David Lee Roth on it? What the fuck is that?" Right? And I'm like, "No, it'll work." And he was so pissed that I did it very poppy and did it the way I did it. Because I thought that he thought I was going to do the verses the way he was going to do the chorus. You know, I think he thought I was going to come out and go, "Do you remember November, baby?" And I did the exact 180 of that and made it like this little Motown fucking, you know, halfway between the Spinners and the Supremes or some shit. It's the light and dark of that and the heaviness and lightness of that one single riff. Listen to that fucking song. It's one fucking riff for 5 fucking minutes, and nobody ever says it's only one riff. They all go, "Oh, dude, I love that fucking song. That's a fucking song." And it's just, you never know. So
yeah, I thought that was gonna be a dud.
Runners, man.
Thank you.
We're on to Thank You now. Thank You was one of my, if not my first, one of my first ones that I wrote for the record. And when Kyle said, "Let's call it Sludge Train," I was obsessed with the idea of we're going to make this fucking record brutal and we're going to make it hard and it's just going to be a lot for people to take in. So I went over there and it was literally just picking up a guitar and just banging out, making it, and all that had, and this is going to sound fucked up and don't take it the wrong way, but all I had was all this like World War II footage in my head of like, you know, German troops storming across fields and, you know, us bombing Japan or something. It was just this onrunning assault was all that I had in my head, just something that was just oncoming and you just couldn't stop it. And we use it for a lot of intros to videos.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps smacking you in the face and stuff like that. But if we never play it live, and if nobody ever comes up to me and says, "Oh, I really like this song," at least we've got a great intro to videos with that fucking shit.
I want to play it live. I always wanted to throw that one on there, but nobody ever like wants to play that.
I don't know. It's just, I like the song. I just don't know if it's too far.
It's not too fucking far. We played Jesus Christ Superstar, like, for Christ's sake.
He's got a point. The song was about being one of them kids that's alienated and cast out and not wanted and all that, but not being angry about it, although there's anger there, but thanking people because it made you be what you are and saying, you know, you fucking shit on me and you did this and that, or, but you know what, thanks, because if it wasn't for that, I couldn't be me. Hold On is there's a part of me that's still very much who grew up on Kiss and all that 80s rock, Joan Jett and all that kind of stuff. So there's that sing-along pop rock thing that runs wild for me. So we came to Hold On. I got that song, I wrote it down, and it was written about a friend. The whole song is actually it's an autobiographical thing, you know, everything on there written is. And it was about a friend who tried to do something very bad to themselves one night, and I just happened to be in the place at the time when they decided to do it. And the story unfolds as it unfolds. So if you want to know what the story is, you just listen to it. Okay, Solo is an odd song. I like the song. If I wrote it, I'm glad I like it. But it's one of those songs where, again, it was a little bit more upper tempo, a little bit more movie. And for me, it was very groove based. I'm going to tell you people a secret that I don't give a shit what anybody thinks or knows. When I write a song, 90% of the songs in my head are dance grooves or funk grooves, and I just play them in a rock or heavy, you know, grunge setting. And again, if you listen to the tempo of that it's a dance type thing that I was going for. And I tried to strip a lot of the rock out and almost make it like I hate to say 9 Inch Nails-ish, because it's definitely not, but it has that kind of sparseness to it and that kind of level to it that just keeps marauding along. And again, that was another story about, you know, being a teenager, and a lot of them fly back to that. And meeting somebody that was hilarious because they came up with me when they were loaded with so much attitude. They were, you know, they were all dressed in fucking black leather and black dye in their hair, and they're a human being, and they're just fucking all yo 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 like that. And I just remember just laughing and thinking, "Kid, what are you doing?" You know what I mean? It's like, you don't gotta try that hard.
It was my baby. I was real proud of it when I wrote it, which you should never do because you get precious with it and you don't want to change it. But we had to a little bit. Basically, I think it was the first song I recorded too. Yeah, it was weird because it was written somewhat different than I usually do, because parts of the song were all written at different times. The main chorus riff there was written first, and I was like, oh, that works. And I think I stole it because I was playing King's X, The World Around Me, on guitar a lot. I was like, I really want to write a song where you just go over the whole fretboard, like when you're doing the riff. And that's why it starts off the 12th fret and descends like the way it does.
It's when he was still in complicated mode.
Yeah, but it worked. That song
it
worked.
did on that one. It really, really did work. Came out phenomenal, actually.
The second part there, the verse might have come next, and really simple, but it worked, and it sounded just heavy and coming at you. And the bridge part, that came last, and when I wrote it in my head, I wrote it much. I thought, and I for whatever reason, I envisioned it much faster. And then we went to the studio to actually play with the drum machine, which is how we always lay down the tracks with a drum machine before we put drums on it. I realized I had to really slow that bridge down, but it made it sound a lot better. Same bridge, just slowed up a lot to match the rest of the song. So that it turned out well, I thought. And yeah, it's pretty much how it went. The vocals were recorded pretty much one shot. Went back to re-record them differently because we weren't sure we liked them that way, but they stuck. Yeah, it's funny because I went back and I listened to it, and that last part, the I didn't realize I completely stole that part from King's X too. If you listen to their first album, Out of the Silent Planet, fuck, I forget what song it was.
Oh, you know what? Now that you said Out of the Silent Planet, I can hear it.
Yeah, you know, you like if you heard it.
Oh shit! What is that?
I'll fucking look up the song.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's it.
It was Sometimes on Out of the Silent Planet. So that if you listen to the outro to that, same fucking outro, stole it and I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that's how good
crazy.
at stealing I am.
It didn't hit. It never hit me until you just played me the fucking thing. And I'm like, oh my god.
Never hit me until I was in the car listening to Out of the Silent Planet. Equinox was weird, man. Because I wrote that. It's the only song on the album I think that's played at that high of in that register or octave on the guitar. With it's just a little bit lighter of a area that's played on, and yeah, it just came together weird. I guess I was trying to be a little more complicated with it. I didn't think when I played it for him, I didn't think he'd like it, and in the first go, he was like, "Oh yeah, we can keep that." And I was stunned because I wasn't even, it was just weird to me. It didn't sound like it fit with the rest of them. And then we went and recorded it just to give it a shot, and got the music down, which was really pretty quick and painless. And then the chorus was something else because we went in there to do the chorus and we didn't know what to do, so I wrote it 2 minutes before we sang it, and it was grand sounding, to say the least. And we got done writing it or singing it, and we were like, you can't fucking breathe because weren't used to singing it, so like it's just so much projecting that you run out of breath.
By the time you're getting the last notes out,
yeah,
you're
out of breath.
Yeah, you're dying.
We listened to it back and we were like, oh man, I don't fucking know. And we just walked away literally for 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and went back and we were like, this can't stay. And I'd written other like 2 or 3 other songs just to go over there and be like, replace that one because it didn't sound like it fit with the rest of the album. I just thought I was going to scrap it, and then we went over there and said, let's just listen to it before we decide to kill it. We were like, what the fuck are we doing? This song's fucking gotta stay. And it stayed. And I wound up really liking it. It's probably one of my favorite tracks that I wrote on the whole album because it sounds not like in a way to kiss its ass, but it sounds more epic than the other ones. Whether that's a good or bad thing, you'd be the judge, but it's kind of a statement to end an album on, I guess, because it just sounds so much different than the rest of the album. But I think it worked out at the end of the day.
I remember when Kyle brought that song and he was playing it, and we went over and recorded it. The first words out of my mouth was, "This is the last song on the album." I remember I said that immediately.
No, I knew that when I wrote it. I was like, if this stays,
it was so big, and it was so different that one, it sounded like, and then we had a lot of moments of like, is this going to go on the record or not? Is this going to go on the record or not? Is this going to go on the...
More so than any other song.
Yeah, and for a while it was like, oh, this is just it's so big sounding that we weren't sure how it would flow. And then Kyle was writing these lyrics, and like he said on the verses, he was writing lyrics. I remember he was writing them, and I sang the verses, or the choruses, pardon me. And he is writing them and handing them to me on a notebook, literally seconds before I was recording them.
Because on the chorus, I didn't have anything written down, and the verses I had them all written out, but I had written to the tune of another song, and when I got there, I was like, I just rewrote another song. I need twice as many words now. So I had to go in and 10 minutes before it was done, add twice the amount of words for each verse. And it was done very quickly. Yeah, so that...
I remember that, but the thing was, he came up with really good lyrics on the spot. Because I was I felt bad for him because I'm like, no, I'm gonna record the verses today, so here, just take this.
No, it was this has to get done today type situation.
Right. And it was like, write me lyrics and let me just take a glance at them and I'll try to nail them out. And again, it was one of those things when I went in there and I did the verses, everything, the 2 or 3 takes, that's it. So he was writing them and he got them done, and then we even got the song done. And it was still one of those. It was funny because we had this bouncing back and forth love, non-love with it. When I was madly in love with it, like this has to make the record, he would question it. And then when he was in love with it, I was kind of like, shit, I don't know. And then by the time we hit the end of it, it was done. From a production standpoint, I wanted to put the little bit of thunder and lightning in the beginning and at the end, because to me the song was so big, it had to be ushered in with something instead of just dropping on you. You had to be shown it, because it was very Wagner, very Jim Steinman Meatloaf epic.
Well,
the lyrics are epic. It's not about just walking down the street and seeing somebody. It was this very almost poetic way of writing lyrics, which we usually don't do. I mean, we're pretty like, you hear what you get. And I remember reading them saying, oh wow, it's painting a gigantic picture. And I said, oh, this is like so different that at first I was like, it's so big and epic, we should put it at the end to close it on. But also, if it doesn't work,
it was either it was going to be a real work, or it was going to fall flat on its face.
Exactly. Either, so whatever was going to happen.
I'm sure there's still some people who are going to listen to it and be like, what a pompous ass when they hear it, but yeah, that's what it is. You know what?
There's been a lot of good feedback about that song.
No, I've heard a lot of good. I haven't heard anybody yet badmouth it, but that's probably because A, people are trying to be nice, but B, I think it works. It just there are certain people that just might rub the wrong way because it's not, in line with everything else in the rest of the album per se.
All right, we're wrapping this thing up and getting out of here. It's Saturday, everybody's got shit to do. Thanks for taking the time to watch this and listen and all that kind of stuff. It means a lot to us. We're going to do a lot more videos in the future, more Q&A things, send things in. You can ask anything. We don't care what it is. We'll have stuff where we'll have John in there and we'll have him answering either drum questions or whatever about his parts and that he did on stuff. And this was just more like a quick, the songwriters, what they did and how they came up with it and stuff. So, all right, till next time.